All right, to quote the great Shannon Sharp, they got a stanker down there, man. They got a stanker. Those Dolphins, they got a stanker down there, man. Jesus, 70 points, and they could have put up 73. They could have literally broke the NFL record, but they decided to lay down the mercy rule and decided to kneel down instead of going for the field goal. They could have legit broke the NFL record. Listen, it was impressive is an understatement. It's a freaking understatement, man. I mean, the Dolphins' offense is for real. They are one of the most exciting teams in football right now. You got to give them a lot of credit. Tua Tagovailoa, Roll Tide, Devin. Some people pronounce it A-Chain or Acne. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name. But Devin, I mean, listen, I've been watching him since Texas A&M, so I know that he's a beast. But 204 total yards, or I think 204 yards on the ground, and I think he had more total. Raheem Mostert was dominant. They had over 250 yards rushing, which is insane. Jesus, I mean, Tua, like I said, Tua was 26 for 30, I believe, 26 for 30, completed over 80% of his passes, had over 300 yards. Didn't have to do too much either. It felt like he didn't really have to do too much. The protection was there. I didn't even think he had to take off once. And they didn't even have Jalen Waddle. Can you imagine if they would have had Jalen Waddle in that game, what that score would have been? Oh, my goodness gracious. You got to give a lot of credit to the Dolphins. And that's a good Broncos defense. That's a good Broncos defense that they're going against. And the Dolphins put a 70 burger on the Denver Broncos, man. Now, like I said, am I nervous for next week? No, because we all know that next week going into going into One Bills Drive, Bills Stadium, we all know that the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins, that's going to be a competitive game, right? Every time that these two match up against each other, these games are always competitive. This is a divisional game that damn near will decide who's going to win, well, at least for us. If we lose, then the division's pretty much lost. The Dolphins lose, it's not the end of the world, but this is going to be a game that decides who wins this division, at least for the Dolphins. They got to win this game if they want to try to win the division. So it's going to be a competitive, outright game. It's going to be great weather. I think the game is going to be like in the 70s. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And like I said, I'm deciding to see if I want to go or if I want to just stay home and just chill with the family. So, it's going to be exciting. I'll tell you that. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be one hell of a game next week. But, man, give a lot of credit to the Miami Dolphins. They blew out the Denver Broncos. And for Russell Wilson, man, this has got to be his last year plan. Chill out with Sierra. Deal with Future. You just got to, But and to be fair, this is the Broncos' fault. This is what happened. And like I said, stop paying these old-ass quarterbacks. Stop doing it. Russell Wilson, you got him at, 33. Aaron Rodgers, damn near 40 with the Jets. Stop paying these old-ass quarterbacks. Stop paying them when they're clearly not in the prime, when they're clearly just not in their prime anymore. So that's on the Broncos for paying Russell Wilson, because now you got to deal with that. You gave up picks. You gave up compensation, and you gave up a lot of money to try to sign that dude to a lucrative deal. And now look, you got to suffer with Russell Wilson. You got to suffer with him. So, listen, the Broncos got deeper issues than Russell Wilson because they're just not a good team overall. But my goodness gracious, 70 points. They laid out a stanker. They dropped their balls on their forehead, man. That's crazy. But let me know, Dolphins fans or Bills fans, if you're excited for next week, if you're planning on going or not, and does this game decide who wins the division or not? Because my goodness gracious, it's going to be a good one next week. And I'm going to call it Ralph Wilson Stadium. I don't give a shit. I'm calling it Ralph Wilson Stadium.